Okay, welcome back. How'd you go? This is pretty confronting. This process can be very confronting um, because some of us have never thought about our clarity. We're so focused on our contrast. We actually live in contrast. And this is a very functional, dysfunctional way of being. When you think about the job of the subconscious mind, it is to keep you alive. That's its sole responsibility. Now, because you have a conscious mind, you have creativity, you want adventure. Our core need, the first core need is certainty. Well, the second core need is uncertainty because we just get too bored. Now, if we go with our nature to create uncertainty for ourselves, we're putting ourselves at risk. Your subconscious mind knows if you do something different, even if it's better for you, you can't guarantee the outcome. So it will keep you in a bad situation just because it's familiar and you know how to survive in that situation, even though it's uncomfortable. So you got to be very careful here, and you really want to understand yourself. The subconscious mind is your friend, but only if you are friends with it. So you have to know it, you have to understand it, and you have to work with it. Okay, this tool, this contrast and clarity tool, you can use it for anything you want to use it for. Right now, we're using it to identify the contrast and the clarity that you can recognize. But if you have a project or if you have something where you need to make a decision and you're not clear about the decision, you may be able to identify the contrast more easily than you can the clarity or the solution. So identify the contrast and set with it. Then ask yourself the clarity question. Once you're clear on what you know you don't want, what that is, then say it out loud. Then what do I want is, and see what comes up. And you may be surprised. All right, so that's it for this course. This is my part, the champion's mind. These are the 6 keys to unlocking your champion's mind. Now, we've only gone over 2. We went over ownership and we went over clarity. As part of the system, we still have alignment. You have to be in alignment. And some of you may be old enough to remember the book and the video that came out called The Secret, and it talked about the laws of attraction. And people were so excited when it first came out. It was like this magic wand. You were going to be able to create the future and the life that you wanted. And then the backlash was just as powerful. This is a scam, a sham. This isn't true. The law of attraction is crap. People were so upset. Well, if you go back and you read that book or you look at that video, you'll see that everything that was said in that video, everything was said in that book was absolutely true. It was just incomplete. And the piece that was incomplete is alignment. Yeah, you have to desire something. You have to really declare what it is you want. And then you have to commit to action. And this is how you can get achievement. You'll see people who aren't really congruent, but they can create results. How do they do that? And maybe this is what helps to create those sayings like fake it till you make it. It's just like dieting. You can have discipline. You have a conscious mind. So you can force yourself to do something against your nature. Most creatures, including plants, any living sort of being, they must be their nature. They are their nature. So if the thing acts that way because of its nature, even when there's danger present, it will be its nature. It will be predictable and do what its nature dictates. Human beings have this unique ability to choose. We have this conscious mind. We can imagine into the future and we can remember back into the past. And then we can create something that may not be congruent with our nature. So you can get performance. You can force performance. You can achieve things, even if it's not completely congruent with who you are in your heart and who you are in your beliefs and your values. So you can fake it and you can make it. It's just not sustainable. And we find that out. And then it feels like a lie. It feels like a lie because you can't maintain it. It doesn't feel like you. And then you'll sabotage it, or you'll stop making the effort you need to make to keep getting that result. And then what comes to fill that void? Usually the old results, the old you, or some new version of you that has more guilt, more shame, more feelings of being inadequate. And it actually magnifies the bad results that you used to get, because now you realize this is who I truly am. Plus, you carry all this shame and guilt or disappointment that what you were able to build, you weren't able to maintain. So we have to be congruent, and alignment is about being congruent. Doesn't mean you're going to be perfect. It just means that the thing you say you want, you actually match. You match it energetically. And this is one of my key secrets. You actually allow it to happen in your life by acting, thinking, being, feeling in congruence with the thing you want. It does not discriminate. If you want something that's not healthy, and you match the energy of it, you will manifest it. Maybe not in the form that you create in your conscious mind, but in some form that matches the energy that you are. We are manifesting machines. This is the God power that has been given to us. Being conscious of ourselves and the ability to choose, to be able to work against our nature. And with that, and all these other natural systems like the reticular activating system, you can manifest. We're just in so much conflict with our subconscious and conscious minds that we're manifesting and then we're destroying. We're just out of alignment. So once you determine what your reality is and you own it, and then you get clear on what you want, the next job is getting in alignment. And once you can get in alignment, then you can start to create. The universe wants to support you, but it doesn't tell you that support is going to be healthy or it's going to make you happy. Whatever you focus on, you are going to get. The universe does not discriminate. It wants to serve you. It is an obedient servant. So you have to own your life and you have to own what you want. Be very clear, because if you're congruent, if you match it, the universe is going to bring it into your space. That's just the way it works. So after alignment, we have career and life harmony. If they're competing, again, you'll either sabotage it or you won't be fulfilled. So we have to create whatever you create in your career. It has to be in harmony with the rest of your life. Again, doesn't make it easy. The more excellence you aspire to, the more high performance you aspire to, you work towards, the bigger your challenges. I actually wrote a book, this book, The Challenge Makes the Champion. And it's absolutely true. I actually live by it. To be a champion, you have to have some sort of challenge. If you don't have any challenges in your life, you're not championing anything. If you don't have any causes for yourself or someone else that you have to stand for, there's no championing. I'm not saying that's a bad life. I'm just saying that in order for you to contribute your gifts, in order for you to make an impact, there has to be something that you're going to contribute to. And they usually show up in the form of challenges. And the more impact that you want to make, the bigger game you want to play, the bigger challenges that you have to face. That's just fair and natural. If you don't want big challenges, play a small game. If you want a big life, you're going to have big challenges. So that's just what it is. And then we got to get your life in action. You got to be out. You got to be in action. Doesn't mean that you're busy. Everybody who knows the 80-20 rule, well, I've got a different view of the 80-20 rule. And people define the 80-20 rule in different ways. The way I define it is 80% of your results come from 20% of your action. So 20% of what you're doing is creating 80% of your results. Now, if this is true, my question is, how's my 20% performing? Am I only 60% high performance in the 20% that I'm getting my results in? Can I up my game in the 20? Because what most people do, after they take care of the 20, they start to focus on the 80. Now remember, 80% of what we do is only producing 20% 20% of the results that we get. So my first focus is not to go to that 80, because all it's going to do is take up my resources and make me busy. My focus is, how can I streamline and be more effective in the 20% that's creating the majority of my results? And a 1% increase in performance in that 20 is going to be an exponential return on my investment than if I was giving it to that 80% of wasted effort. So life in action. We really want to have a life that supports the life that you say is successful and fulfilling to you, not someone else. You have to live your life. If you let other people choose what you do in life and how you have to live your life, then, and they're not going to be responsible for it, you're the one taking responsibility for living your life. So if you're going to be responsible for the consequences, and if you're the one that's going to have to live it, then why not own it? And then the last thing, and this is what really powers the whole thing. This is the source of power for this whole thing, and it's your living legacy. I'm not talking about your reflective legacy. Most people, they finish something and look back and they go, oh, that's my legacy. It's all in reflection. I'm talking about the legacy that you're living and creating right now and doing it in a conscious way. So we've looked at the first two keys. Join us in our next program, and we'll start looking at the other keys. And by the end of this journey, my goal is that you are able to unlock your champion's mind and build a life that you want. Thank you for joining us. Next up is going to be Charlie McFarland. He's going to take a look at your team. And he's going to look at how your team and how your organization is performing. Looking forward to that. And that's the second key in this formula that we have that's going to help you get high performance, these three-dimensional, 3 keys to high performance. So thank you for being with me. I look forward to seeing you next time.